To be successful, education programs require effective planning and implementation. The best programs clearly articulate how each activity contributes to specified outcomes. When designing and implementing education programs, it's crucial to not only have a plan, but also the means to track achievement of program milestones and objectives, and over time, evaluate the program's success. Using program planning tools is crucial for teachers, administrators, policymakers, and evaluators to monitor and measure the level of progress achieved by the program and to explain the program results. With this in mind, REL Pacific has created 2 practitioner-focused tools to aid in program design and monitoring at the school, district, or state level. The Education Logic Model Application, or ELM, released before the Program Outcomes, Measures, and Targets application, was developed to help users create a logic model to organize, communicate, and evaluate the outcomes of a program. The ELM walks you through each step in identifying resources, activities, outputs, and outcomes to see how they connect intended activities with intended outcomes. This second application, the POMT, takes program planning to the next level by focusing on monitoring, measuring, and tracking program outcomes over time. The POMT was funded by the Institute of Education Sciences and created by REL Pacific to assist educators, administrators, and program teams to plan, monitor, and evaluate the success of their programs. In this video, we'll walk you through the POMT application and its uses, and later we'll provide you with a bit more information about REL Pacific and the entire Regional Educational Laboratory program. We hope you enjoy the video, and we welcome your comments and feedback.
The POMT was funded by the Institute of Education Sciences and created by REL Pacific to assist educators, administrators, and program teams to plan, monitor, and evaluate the success of their programs. Well, the good news is the app is free and it's available from download online at relpacific.mcrel.org. Flash drives are available for educators, stakeholders in the Pacific region who are unable to download the app. Once you download and install the application, you can easily open it by double-clicking on the icon. Let's take a look at the program. Here we are on the front page. The overview gives you basic information on how to enter information into the POMT app. There's a tutorial that also guides you through the app if you need additional support. The outcomes page is divided into short-term, mid-term, and long-term outcomes. These can be loaded from the outcomes you've identified in the ELM app through the existing program button, or you can start with a completely new program. You can add up to 5 outcomes for each short, mid, and long-term outcome, and up to 3 indicators and measures. Hover over terms for short descriptions. These definitions may better inform you in determining what information goes in each box. The type of information you will enter for each outcome includes indicators, measures, targets, benchmarks, and a baseline. After entering all the information about your outcomes and indicators, you will need to identify the units of measure for the target, actual, benchmark, and baseline scores. To the right of the text boxes is a drop-down menu with a list of 3 broad categories of measures that you can select from. The first category includes standardized tests. The second consists of quantitative measures, and the third consists of qualitative measures. Once you have identified the scale for your measure, you will need to enter the actual data for your target, actual, benchmark, and baseline scores. You can do this by using your mouse and the left and right arrow keys on the computer keyboard to adjust the sliding scale scores to correspond to the numeric values that you indicated within the text boxes. There is also a reports area which will allow you to export your data into common formats that can be used with Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. The outcomes page can get very overwhelming with a lot of information on your outcomes and indicators. To see a simple bird's eye view, you can use the interactive dashboard by going to the Dashboards page. This would be a good place to share your program evaluation plan with colleagues, especially for colleagues who do not need to see every evaluation detail. The dashboard has been designed to display the status of all of your outcomes. You may print and save in a variety of formats. You can print short-term, mid-term, and long-term outcomes separately. You can selectively select just the outcomes you're interested in, or you can print all of the outcomes at once. So we're very excited about the POMT application. We hope that it will enable colleagues and friends and team members to work together to actually create dashboards to have their programs be more successful. For more detailed information on the POMT, You can view our complete webinar walkthrough at relpacific.mcrel.org.
The POMT application was created by REL Pacific at McREL International and their partner Island Innovation under a regional educational laboratory contract with the Institute of Education Sciences. The final segment of this video will familiarize you with the REL program in general and REL Pacific specifically. Thanks for downloading and good luck with your programs.
REL Pacific at McREL International is one of 10 regional educational laboratories, often referred to as RELs. The RELs are funded by the U.S. Department of Education's Institute of Education Sciences. We serve education stakeholders in 3 U.S. Pacific territories: American Samoa, the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, and Guam, as well as 3 nations in free association with the United States: the Republic of the Marshall Islands, the Republic of Palau, and the Federated States of Micronesia, which includes the 4 states of Chuuk, Koshrai, Pohnpei, and Yap. We also serve the state of Hawaii. At REL Pacific, we identify priority needs in the region through comprehensive reviews of education system data and reports, ongoing discussions with education agency staff, and continual contact with the field. We also support consortia called research alliances that bring together stakeholders in the Pacific to work collaboratively to address problems and questions of high priority and relevance in the field of education. Our work focuses on 4 priority topic areas: strengthening teacher effectiveness, engaging families and communities in education, ensuring college and career readiness, and optimizing data systems. REL Pacific is housed at McREL International's Pacific Center for Changing the Odds in Honolulu, Hawaii. We are a private, nonprofit organization that draws upon the best of education research to translate what works into culturally conscious innovations that benefit learners throughout the Pacific. The REL Pacific region is geographically vast. The region served by REL Pacific covers 5 time zones and more than 1,000 islands, islets, and atolls. The region is mostly rural and spans a geographic area larger than the entirety of the continental United States. Although all 7 of the major entities served by REL Pacific use English as the language of instruction, 5 of those 7 also instruct in an indigenous language, such as Chamorro, Marshallese, Palauan, Chuukese, Yapese, Pohnpeian, Koshrayan, Samoan, or Hawaiian. For more information on REL Pacific, please visit our website, relpacific.mcrel.org, and sign up for our newsletter for updates on projects, events, and news.